What's your take on that, Dennis?
Yeah, tough to take. You could see it was a tough game for us. We tried hard again. Was not easy to concede a penalty after, 5 minutes maybe. Honestly, I told the boys before the game, we have to be careful because this is exactly what can happen. And I was exactly expecting this kind of game that is very kind of nasty and so many battles and sitting on the floor and waiting for treatment and the referees not taking any action. And that's exactly what we try to prepare the boys for. But obviously was not good enough today. So we had a few chances not taking them, but not the clear-cut chances we have had before in the game. So it's not like we bombarded them and had, lots and lots of chances, but still enough to put one in the back of a net last minute. With Toby, just needed to put it in the back of a net from the side. Franklin Domi was blocked. Then we had Dom a few ones, but as I said, not the clear-cut chances we have had before. And we just need to find ways how to dig in a little bit deeper to get results out of these games.
It's the third league defeat of the season. You've now had back-to-back league defeats after the defeat against Eastbourne last week. Is that worrying? Form is temporary, I guess, and you can come back from this. You've got a lot of games still to play, but to have that dip at this time of year, that must be concerning.
Not concerning in general. Obviously, every defeat is concerning because you always can do better and should do better. So from this point of view, it's always concerning. But you can see there are a few clear and obvious situations for me why this is happening at the moment and what exactly goes against us. And we just need to stick together as a group. We need to learn from these defeats. You need to learn from how's the opponent celebrating after a win, for example, and all these small little things where you need to be aware as a player and where you need to learn from and see we need to step up and we need to make sure that we are ready for these kind of games, and they will be exactly the same the next upcoming games, regardless if it's Dartford or then Weymouth and then all the other games in January. I think we have 7 already in the schedule for January, so you have to be up for it. So fortunately, as I said last week already, few players will be back for the Boxing Day game, but regardless we have to step up because most important thing in football is win your battles on the pitch and make sure that you don't get affected from any decisions. And we had it now twice in a row where we got affected from decisions and we need to shake it off, and then we go again on Monday.
There seem to be two types of team in the league. There are teams that play open football and come at you and you go toe-to-toe with them. But then there are other teams like Cheshunt that maybe they're not quite as accomplished and they've got a certain game plan that they're going to use no matter what, and they defend deep and they're hard and they're rugged and they're tough and robust, and you're going to see a lot of that this season, aren't you? How can you overcome that? What do you need to do that?
Yeah, I think we had it in the beginning of the season as well in enough games, and it's not always the same. If football would be always the same, then it would be a different story, but it's not always the same because it can be a little bit, the performance can dip from a few players at this game, and other games they are turning up, and there are so many different things. It's not just about the other team, it's about your team as well, and sometimes you need a little bit luck. You need a little bit luck with decisions from referees as well, which we don't have for the last weeks anyway. Since I'm here in Epfleet, I can't see that we ever had it, but it's very obvious at the moment again, and we just need to get on with it because then you can't get affected from an early penalty decision, even if everyone in the stadium could see what was happening there. But regardless, as I said, you have to just turn up. You need to get your head right. You need to get the mentality right and the approach of the game. If something like this happens, you can't get frustrated or distracted or kinds of this. You just need to stay focused and stay determined in the game, and then you go again. And as you said, it's not like I'm worried because if we play against these kind of teams, we are always struggling. That's not the case. We had enough games already this season where we overcame it and where we did a very, very good game and win our games. But at the end of the day, today, as I said, at the moment, we just need to make sure that we deliver the basics right and better than the opponent. And from there, we can start to build up our play and go in the box and try to create chances and try to score goals. But again, it was now the second game in a row where we haven't scored a goal. And there we need a little bit more determination to say, like, okay, it's time to score again, because that's what you need to win football games.
You've got great goal scorers in the squad for sure, but you mentioned the lack of goals at the moment. Is it maybe a time to think about freshening it up, bringing a different dimension into the side, to change the predictability perhaps that's around the team?
Yeah, I can't see there's a predictability. I think it's more like you could see Dom was ill 1.5 weeks. It needs a little bit time to be back on. You could see our captain is still not available. He's ill at the moment. He's back from injury, but now ill, so he will be back in a few days as well. You could see Greg Kundle is training, but it's a little bit too early. We needed to rest Luke O'Neill today. Josh Wright is back in training now. So you can see, if I speak about these players, then we have enough to fresh things up. But that's normal in a season, a long season. You have games like this, or the last game against Eastbourne, and you will always experience these kind of games where you need to overcome it as a team. You need to grow from it, you need to learn from it, but you will always experience these kind of games, and you just need to make sure that you learn the right things, and then you do it better. They will come to us, we will play against them, and then we have to show them that we are good enough to beat them. But so far it's still a good season. We are top of the table, so I don't get carried away with 2 league defeats, like I never got carried away with 9 wins in a row, because that's football. It can happen, and we will have spells where we are not as good as we have been in the beginning, and there are reasons, as I said, obvious reasons, and we are a little bit unlucky on top of it. But as I said, we stay together and we know exactly what we can do better, and we will do better on Monday, 100%.
You mentioned the upcoming games, primarily against Dartford, home and away. How many of those players that are coming back, how many of those could be in contention to be considered for the squad on match day?
I think everyone will be back. Everyone, as I mentioned before, will be back if nothing happens new. Like Solly was available but ill now, unfortunately. But it's not a problem, because then he has another week off before he's back, and maybe it helps his ankle as well. So as I said, we just talk about days. We don't talk about weeks or months or whatever. We talk about days, and that's fine. And that's what we have to do. And again, we were still good enough to create chances. Just don't put it in the back of a net. So it's not like, we have no chance if they are not playing. We have still enough chances to win games. But as I said, we need to grow from these defeats, and we need to do better as a team. And when we do it, and when we deliver the basics better than our opponents, then we will have chances again to win games.
You're going to go into Christmas top of the league as you were last year. Last year you missed it by seconds, the promotion, but maybe it's a good position this year to kick on and achieve the ultimate goal.
Yeah, but it's very early, as I said to you the whole time. It's still far too early. Even after 2 defeats now, I can say, yeah, we are still top of the table, but it doesn't matter. As I said to you all the time, it doesn't matter now. It matters end of April, and we have to be prepared for our games, for our upcoming games, for the challenges we have had today, for example. And there will be so many different twists and turns over the season where you have to be ready for it. And as I said, I can't blame a single player. I can't blame us as a group, because they are trying hard and they are an honest group, even if we lost the game today, and they don't go home and they're happy about getting a defeat today. They know exactly what we have done wrong, and as I said, we will grow from it, and I'm looking forward to the game on Monday, because it's a great game of football. It's a derby. Dartford will come to us first, so everyone is up for it, and as I said, I'm just looking forward to the game, regardless of the results we have had.
Regardless of tonight's result, have a great Christmas and have a successful New Year.
Cheers.
Thanks, Dennis.